A common question that parents often ask is, how do I get my child to fold the laundry, do the dishes, listen the first time that I ask them to do something? It reminds me of when I was a boy and my cousin was a horse trainer. And I asked him, well, hey, Kenny, how do you get that horse to do what you want? And he said, well, this horse weighs 2,000 pounds. I'm not really in control. My job is to encourage and coax that horse into doing and believing that he wants to do that which I hope he'll do. And it really made me think back then, and it applies now when we start thinking about how we interact with our kids. Very often when we're asking how do we get them to do something, what we're actually doing is setting up a power struggle. And if you've ever set up a power struggle with kids, it's very rarely a winning proposition. It creates so much stress both for the child and for the parent that nobody's happy at the end. So let's ask that question. How do we get our kids to do stuff? Well, one of the first things to recognize is that if a child is motivated to do something, meaning they're excited to do it, happy to do it, and want to do it, they're more likely to follow through. Yeah, but we're talking about things like doing dishes and folding laundry, listening when the first time when I tell them to put the video games down. That doesn't make them happy. No, you're right. What does make them happy, though, is connection to you. Let me explain. The times in their lives that kids are the most happy, the most fulfilled, are the same times when they are the most connected to their parents. If you think back to your own childhood, to a happy memory that you had with one of your parents, sometimes you can't even remember what you were doing exactly or where you were. You just remember that you were happy doing it with your dad or excited to try this new thing with your mom because you had a level of connection to them. And to a child, that's pre-programmed into their brains to seek that connection. Well, what is connection? Well, connection includes everything from getting down on their eye level instead of towering over them when you ask them to do something, making physical contact to make sure that you are physically connected and drawing an intellectual connection and attention to you as you speak. Things like undivided attention, watching them as they play, loving when they ask you for the 1,000th time if they like the Play-Doh toy that they made. All of these things speak the language of love to kids, and when they feel loved, they are more likely to do that which we're asking. So how do we build this connection? Well, one of the things that I often suggest is setting time aside each day. I know we're all busy. Well, your child is busy too, but they need your love and attention. So we suggest about 10 minutes a day. It's not that much. And during this 10 minutes, your sole focus, your undivided attention is on them. This is your connect time. Now, this does not mean sitting facing one another, staring at each other across the kitchen table. The best way to engage your child is through play. Now, this can mean different things depending on the age of your child. Play to a 3-year-old is very different than play to a teenager. But humans thrive through play. There is a ton of research into the neurotransmitters that get released as we play and the effectiveness of play in learning processes. We know that a child has to repeat something sometimes up to 500 times before they can memorize it, unless play is involved, in which case it can be dropped to between 1 and 10 times before that knowledge is integrated into their minds. So play is very powerful. You just have to kind of meet your kids where they are as far as what is the method of play. Now, here's the catch. It's not enough just to watch them and speak to them and interact with them as they play. This has to be connected time. You have to get down on the floor and play with them. Your hands dirty, play those video games that you don't even like having in your house. It's not about the actual activity. It's about the time that you're spending with your child on their level and in their world. You need to create that connection by joining them where they are. Now, your kids know that you're busy too. They have busy lives these days. They've got soccer, ballet, martial arts, skills classes, all these different things going on. In addition to homework and folding the laundry and going to school, they know what busy means, and they understand that you as an adult have very busy lives as well. So when you take that time and give it to them, they do understand the value of that because of the sacrifice that you made, in addition to how it makes them feel. So there is a double whammy of awesomeness there to help you build that connection. Now, I know it's easy to say this, and we've said 5 different times now that, oh my God, I am so busy. When can I find time to do this? Well, this is one of the things that as a parent, we have to have a little bit of discipline for ourselves. We ask our kids to have lots of discipline, and very often discipline that's even above their stage of development. We have to model that behavior. We have to have the discipline to set aside 10 minutes every single day. Now, it doesn't have to be the same time every day or the same method of connection every day, but having that consistency is so important so that the kids recognize that it's not just an afterthought. This is something that is meaningful to both of you. And when you really look at all of the benefits of this 10 minutes of connect time, it's going to outweigh being a little bit more time crunched on some other project that's realistically a little less important than raising a connected child. Now, once you've done this for a while, this is not a quick fix. You do it once and that's it. Once you've done this for a while and you've established this relationship, a couple of things will happen. First, because of the habits that you've built through getting on their level and making contact and having eye contact and providing them with your full undivided attention, these habits will follow over into every other aspect of your relationship. So next time you ask your child to do something, instead of calling across the house, hey, Johnny, get ready for dinner, and then getting upset that Johnny didn't get ready for dinner, because you have habits that build connection, you'll be more likely to go over to where Johnny is, crouch down in front of them, make eye contact, put a hand on their shoulder, make sure that their attention is connected to you, and then let them know, hey, it's time for dinner. Now, yes, this takes extra effort, but if we want them to make effort, we have to model that behavior. We have to let them know that they are important to us, and therefore the things that are important to us should also be important to them. The second thing that will happen is as you build more connection, your kids will understand better that the things you ask them to do have reasons. We're not just asking them to fold laundry because they are our slave labor. We're asking them to fold laundry. Well, yeah, it does help the family, but also because it's a skill they will need someday. And when they are more connected to you, they'll see it more as a lesson and time that they get to spend with you rather than just another thing that mom or dad wants us to do. So build it into your schedule. Find that time to connect. If you need ideas, post right in the comments. We have lots of ideas based on your child's age and stage of development of ways that you can better connect with them. And after you've tried it out for a while, let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear about your successes and your challenges.